some might call unmute the mic, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and transition and say, True Believers, guess what? It's Thursday night. That means it is time for Wait. Did I Roll a Wild? Your Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog. I am here. My name's Tim. I'll be your host this evening. Joining me is Dan, one of my favorite people.
Oh, thanks.
Some might say.
I'm in my chair this week.
That's true.
Danny doesn't like my chair.
Yeah, since Chuck's just abandoned us and stopped showing up and sitting in any of our chairs.
I wasn't even going to bring it up because it upsets people.
It does. It does upset people. But, you know what doesn't upset people? It's a whole bunch of brand new MCP news, as well as a brand new episode of the cleanup phase
I'm so excited.
happening tonight, right after this stream. If you are curious at how to get access to the cleanup phase, which is our Patreon exclusive MCP and more show, you can check that out over at patreon.com/professionalcasual. Literally any tier, as little as $1 a month, gets you access to that, as well as the Discord and a whole slew of other things, additional full shows, behind the scenes stuff, all sorts of video for all of the podcasts that we happen to release every week.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a ton of stuff.
Regularly.
But, one of my favorite things about it is that, it's you, it's me, it's our dog Blue, it's anything that we want it to be, man. It's great. But this week we are going to be talking about some of the new Hydra cards that were just revealed.
A whole bunch, like 8 of them.
A new affiliation that was like low-key revealed. That was like in the product description for the Sabretooth and Wolverine Rivals pack.
Yeah, didn't expect a new affiliation in that.
Not at all.
I'll take it.
Some games played, maybe some hobby thoughts, maybe a whole bunch of tangents that Dan and I are simply just bound to go upon.
No, that doesn't happen.
I not only do I think it happens incredibly regularly.
Oh, fair.
But
especially today, because we're going to go on long tangents about characters like we want to see in the Weapon X program, and
for sure,
because there's a few,
I believe, is the standard issue for that. But Dan,
hi,
tell me what it is exactly that you have hobbied this week.
Exactly.
And I need real specifics here.
Okay. Mostly I got the new Hydra stuff done.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I got that box done. Arnim Zola and Baron Strucker, so you could use them on Monday. And I actually enjoyed painting Arnim Zola a bit more than I thought I was gonna.
Well, that's good.
Seen stuff on Facebook. People had suggested to use just a bit of Elmer's glue on the faceplate thing. Worked like a charm. I was able to. I painted the face, and then glued it on, put the glue on, let it dry, and then was able to prime it, peeled the glue off, was perfectly fine. I had put just a little too much glue, so some of it went over the side, and I had to tidy it up with some primer in a pot, but that was not a big deal at all. And then painted it, and then I put some more glue on, let it dry, and then varnished it real quick, and it's good to go.
I like that quite a bit.
Yeah. And then Baron Strucker was nice. Been painting a lot of red lately, like a lot, between finishing up Amazing Spider-Man, and I did the Hood and Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme over the summer, so all those red cloaks and capes. Dormammu had a lot of red on him. I think there's something else recently. Oh, Red like Guardian? Most of the Winter Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Crimson Dynamo and Red Guardian had a lot of red. So painting some green was actually nice on green and purple and orange. Yeah, I did yellow more than orange on Arnim Zola, but having some other colors was nice. And then I got the Bully Cap and Howling Commandos, like, kind of based. They're not done. They were like good enough for stream.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I got to get them finished up. And then Malkuth is still like, he was good enough for stream before. He needs to get finished because the Sentinels are going to be a lot to do.
Yeah.
3 giant models. They're going to be, it's going to take a while.
One of my favorite things about this particular show, and more importantly, this network as a whole, right, is I have refrained from making any comments about Big Chuck for probably months. And the one time I do on this show, he's in chat, ready to fighting to go. But that's what they say. In fact, that is what a very wise man once told me, is that if you have a fistful of dice and a pocket full of dreams, then you got a fighting chance.
He does say that.
There's always a fighting chance that Chuck might be in chat. That's why you should always be careful about what you say about others. But
Yeah, that's why I just don't say bad things about people.
as far as hobby stuff this week that I did, guess
You
what I
did.
did? I did. I physically did. Me. Not anybody else.
Did you have to fight a bunch of cats to do it?
Guess what I hobbied this week? No, listen. I'm not even going down that road right now. But I broke the plastic on and removed the plastic on my Crimson Dynamo and Dark Star box.
Did you open the box?
No.
You just took the plastic off.
I did take the plastic off.
Golf clap.
Thank you. We're getting there. We're getting there, fam. And the important thing about that is that it meant that I both had the intent to hobby
Okay.
and started to hobby.
What's nice is Crimson Dynamo and Darkstar are not difficult models to assemble. I believe you
Yeah.
can do those.
Listen.
You'll
believe
lose some part of Darkstar.
Oh
sure.
yeah, the hair. I'm sure, or some particle effects.
You'll lose like one
100%.
random like front-facing leg half of Crimson Dynamo, but they'll be done.
I have found that I really do enjoy assembling while watching like Disney Plus shows.
Okay.
So like my plan was to get that ready so that when I watch She-Hulk this week, I can assemble maybe Crimson Dynamo
Assemble.
during the show.
Nice.
As far as games played though, a lot of people say, Tim, don't you normally save that for the end of the show? And I say, yes. So
Depends on the week.
it does. It does. So how about this? Why don't we, you and I, Dan,
Hi.
why don't we just go right in, jump in, head first
Head first.
into all of these Hydra cards that
Oh
we're
man,
some we've seen.
we have seen. I figured we'd go over them again quick.
Yeah,
It's been a
absolutely.
while. We saw them at Mini Stravaganza. They showed 2 of them.
Some we haven't, but I'm excited for pretty much all of them, and I'm excited for most of their names as well.
Yeah, there's really good names. The more we see for this affiliation, the more this is your affiliation.
It really
Because
is.
there's a lot of stuff that I'm reading this and I'm like, Tim's gonna love this card.
So and very specifically, not to get into the games played this past week, but you and I played Shield and Hydra on Monday on the Power Phase, and it got brought up several times by both chat, by Anthony, by you, by me. It's like this affiliation was made for me.
Yeah, because like Strucker's leadership ability is like just complex enough that it's like that. I feel like it's that sweet spot for you. Obviously,
is.
correct me if I'm wrong. Where I look at that and I'm like, too many words. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
When you're like, yes.
There's a lot of words, right? So it's off-putting for some maybe, but it's really basic. It's straightforward. Apply this, do this.
Right.
Can't
They
apply
just
that?
needed a lot of words to explain it coherently, but
Yeah.
it's actually pretty simple. And you remembered it. Like every time.
That's the thing. I need it to be obtainable, right? Being obtainable is actually super important to me. But yeah, it's obtainable, and you're really only remembering 2 things. And it's all based around, do I have a status effect or a special condition, or did I apply a special condition? Sometimes it's the same answer. But I really enjoyed it a lot. But so, they have a whole bunch of really thematic and also very cool tactics cards. So, top to bottom, let's start with the one that piqued my interest the most.
Okay.
And that is 2 more shall rise.
Oh my god, this is so good. I misread this. We were talking about it in the Discord, and Tim kept bringing up a particular character, and I was like, but they're not in this affiliation. Then I reread it and went, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's even better than I thought.
So this is a Hydra reactive, and when an allied Hydra character with an active leadership ability is KO'd, another allied character may play this card.
So right now that's Red Skull, Master of Hydra, or Baron Strucker.
So it just says another allied character.
I mean, the allied Hydra character with an active leadership is KO'd.
Sin is also a Hydra character. Sin is on the Hydra affiliation. It doesn't say another active leader.
Okay. All right, this makes it even better. Okay,
Crossbones
so I
could play
wasn't
this card.
totally understanding this either.
Hydra Bob
So
could
an
play this
allied
card.
Hydra character so it doesn't say they have to have a Hydra leadership. They just need to be on
Just
the
need
Hydra
to be part of
affiliation
Hydra.
with a leadership ability.
Mm-hmm.
So is it both Red Skulls?
Both Red Skulls.
Because the regular core box Red Skull's also on Hydra, right?
Yep.
He's just not the leader for them, obviously.
So this is so I will only be activating this ability, or if I guess I suppose the way to say this is if I have the opportunity to activate this ability on Viper, I am only going to activate this with Viper. But yeah, in Hydra as a whole, we have Arnim Zola, Strucker, Zemo, Bob, Crossbones, Red Skull of both varieties, Sin, Taskmaster, and Viper. So any one of those could activate this card. What it does, however, is choose 2 allied characters with Hydra or Cabal leadership abilities. Both chosen characters' leadership abilities become active.
So great.
2 leadership abilities active at the same time. They said, move over, X-Men. We're not just swapping it out. We're swapping it out and upgrading it. You cut off one head, 2 more form.
It's so perfect for Hydra. I love it. And then it's like it makes me think of the whole Starscream dynamic where like one can't really take over, so they're both just telling people what to do, and like Crossbones is like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's so great. So like Hydra or Cabal leaders. Now we have both, either Red Skull, obviously you can only have one in the game, but whichever one you have, Baron Strucker, Sin, Malekith is on that list as well. You can activate his leadership later in the game when you're definitely KOing and whatnot. It's so cool. I love it so much. I read this card very wrong at first. I thought it was only Hydra leaders. I missed the or Cabal somehow totally.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is
it's
Sin
a
on the
very
card?
big or. Honestly,
huge.
it's pretty massive.
So I love the idea of taking, like, let's say core box Red Skull.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, well, yeah. Well, let's start with Sin.
I think core box Red Skull actually isn't an awful. Well, you can't because he's not a Hydra leader. So they need an active ability.
But we have established that he's on the Hydra affiliation with the leadership ability. So if he goes down, it still counts. But he's not. Oh, but your team's not Hydra. I got what you're saying.
Yeah,
it would be Cabal.
Yep.
So let's start with Baron Strucker.
Mm-hmm. Strucker, very easy to take down for the most part, or very easy to prevent him from being prevented from being taken down. I think very legitimately, Baron Strucker is one of probably the go-tos. I think Leviathan Hydra Leviathan Red Skull is probably not the one you want to be taking out to activate this card. Is probably Strucker.
I say start with Leviathan Red Skull as your leader.
I completely agree.
Because then you just throw him up in the middle and you're like, kill him, I dare you. I get 2 leaders if you do it. And he's big, tough. He's got a lot of good attacks sitting in the middle of the table. Like, it's like, all right, bring it. What are you going to do against me?
And you can bait it too, right? With how the Leviathan armor works. You could be like, look at this super weak energy defense. I sure hope no one does anything to it.
Right?
Like,
just tempt him with him up there. You're getting extra power for the first couple of turns holding or contesting objectives. And then when they take the bait and take him down, you're like, oh, well, now I'm Baron Strucker and Sin leadership, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff I can do.
So, and that's the thing, right, is Sin's been a little slept on. I feel anyway. I don't know if you saw this or not, but she absolutely murdered a She-Hulk on stream once.
She did.
But
her spender just
it's 4 attacks.
popped off.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she got it twice. She's getting power every time she's attacking, not even necessarily every time that she does damage. It was it's pretty stellar, kind of overall. But I really like her affiliation ability. There's a lot going on there. You just need people close. And when you're going Hydra, especially if you maybe have some Hydra troopers or something out, granted, if you're running the Master of Hydra Red Skull to make this whole thing happen, Sin being comboed with any other Cabal or Hydra leader is great. Great. I don't think there's a bad combo for her. You're either getting extra power while you're disrupting the field, or you're getting more power while you're counting as more... while you're getting power while securing stuff. Yeah. I think I love it, like across the board.
Right. So having her be one that pops up, obviously she also can't be the initial one to go down.
Correct.
At this point, it has to be Strucker or Leviathan Red Skull. And again, if they're going, like, maybe they move up and get just trucked. But that
Very well could.
they're going to be doing a lot before that happens.
Yes,
I think
especially
if you-
Leviathan.
Yeah, I think if you throw Leviathan, Red Skull up there, just put a big target on him and say, who cares?
Mhm.
He's tough to bring down, first of all, with his Leviathan armor, and he's got 7-6 health.
Yeah.
Like, he's not easy to take down anyway.
And here's the thing, and I see, listen, I see the chats out there. I see the Facebook comments of people saying, like, why would you use this? You're not even going to be able to activate it until minimum of round 3. And I was like, first off,
Bet.
I mean, that part is accurate. Unless you can somehow figure out a way to get someone injured and off the board, KO'd specifically before round 3, honestly, good on you. It'll probably be around 2.
I mean, technically,
at
you
the
can't
earliest.
do it until round 2, yeah.
Right. But I think Strucker is the go-to here. If people are going to use it, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. But I love that for a very specific reason, right? So if you are using this, you have Strucker going down. It's like a daddy-daughter dance after that. The only 2 viable candidates after that are some form of Red Skull and Sin.
Yeah, it's so good.
So it's like the Bennington show, you know what I mean? It's the only father-daughter podcast. This will be the only father-daughter Cabal Hydra leadership combo possibly.
Now, is this one that you're going to see at top tables and tournaments and stuff?
Yes, because I'll be there playing.
Right? I say probably
Oh, not tap table, sorry. Just at tournaments.
I'd say probably not, just because people really don't want to go near Sin. And she's about, other than Malekith, you have to have her in there. And then Malekith and Leviathan Red Skull seems like that's a lot of threat.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe here and there, maybe we'll see somebody figure something out that's crazy. But I think this is perfect for what this game is about, like really being thematic and having a good. I can't wait to see this happen. So I just love 2 more. I cut off 1 head, 2 more. Oh, it's so good.
It is. It's literally everything that should be, right? It's
Everything that should be.
It's thematic. It's a straightforward logical pun. It's influenced by the stories as a whole. And listen, when you pull it off, you'll make a ruckus. Just a ruckus will be applied. You can apply 1 ruckus.
We love ruckuses here.
It has ruckus parentheses 1, so that 1 ruckus
only
at
1.
least will have. Well, yes, for now.
Okay, fair.
So until they release a character that has ruckus parentheses 2, the only way to get that currently is going Juggernaut against Juggernaut, which you can't do in 1 player affiliation. You can get up to ruckus parentheses 4 by playing Separation Anxiety, where everyone brings a Juggernaut. But
I love that game.
but yeah.
All right, what about World Domination?
I also really like this card for a very different reason, but I'm really excited to see if this one gets a mainstay play or not, because this seems like this could be very much an influential card.
There's another one I've seen a lot of talk about.
Yeah.
So this is another Hydra-specific active card. If you control all secure objective tokens, an allied Hydra character may play this card. Doesn't cost any power, which is nice. You gain 1 VP for every 2 secure objective tokens you are securing. Additionally, each character you control gains 1 power for every 2 secure objectives you are securing.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus victory points?
Correct.
For doing what you need to do to win anyway?
For doing what you should be doing. Yeah, and very specifically, right, this plays incredibly well with Red Skull Master of Hydra's affiliation ability. Which is
because you're already securing him to get extra power anyway.
Yes.
So you're doubling down on his leadership. Even better. You ran him up the field anyway. You want him to die kind of after a few rounds, and then you're going to bonus victory points this round.
I believe the maximum you can get from this is 2. Because did it say round down? Because the only secure that has 5 points is Superpowered Scoundrels, which, granted, one of my favorites. I really love
that's a
Superpowered
good one.
Scoundrel.
Well, it doesn't have to say round down because it's for every 2. So if you're securing
fair.
5, it's not enough
legit.
to get the next one. So the most you can get at this is a bonus 2 victory points, but that's still huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that this game is so close so often that will determine it.
Yep.
In a lot of cases. I think this is fantastic. I saw some debate about whether some things, using the words control and secure. This one is very clear that it's only if you're securing the token, which means you already won the however many characters are there and everything.
Yes.
It's not just controlling it. But I guess there's some crises that say like you pay a power to interact. You put a token down to say that you're controlling this objective. So you got to be very careful with understanding those terms and how it works for this. Like you can't having a token there and leave. You're not securing that objective anymore. Yes, you're controlling it for the scenario point, but if you leave it and nobody's on it, it doesn't work for this card, I believe.
Right. So I believe, and Ravensguard has kind of confirmed that in chat, I believe. So it's pay to flips only.
So
like, where you're pushing a button and you are flipping it. That is when you control it, not just securing it.
If you got this card in your hand, you're only going to have those secures.
100%. Completely agree. And the pay to flips are usually the ones that are 3 to 4 minimum, right? So as far as actually having those secures on the board.
Even if it gets you 1 extra VP, that's absolutely worth it for a tactics card. 100%.
I mean, you just kind of think of that overall. Pretty much every secure has at least 3 traps in it, right? So if you get all 4 traps, or all 3 or 4 traps, that's a minimum of 2.
You activate your trap card
you
here.
Could
get extra points.
That's the place to do it, actually.
And it's one of those that's easy when you're building the game. You see, I didn't get one of those secure objectives that it works for. You just don't include that in your squad. You're fine. Like you're not ever gonna waste this card, I don't think.
Actually, very legitimately, right? So as far as one of your 10 that's in your roster, I don't think this is wasted. No. I think it's in there, and you know whether you should be using it or not, because those objectives are chosen well before you're choosing your tactics cards.
Yeah.
I think it's a very fine inclusion and could be incredibly powerful if you can pull it off correctly. Our next one, and I believe these next 2 are... Whoa.
I just want to say one thing really quick that's interesting about this card. Is that it's not scored in the cleanup phase. Once you secure all 3, 4 or 5, whatever it is, all the secure objective tokens, you just do it.
Yeah.
So you get the points in the middle of your turn, which... makes it even better. You don't have to control. You don't have to have all those until the cleanup phase and keep it.
Correct.
Like once you get it, boom, Bob's your uncle. You get 1 or 2 extra bonus victory points and extra power.
Could you
so
imagine
good.
How cool it would be to have Hydra Bob as your uncle.
Hydra Bob's your uncle.
Hydra Bob's your uncle. You heard it here first.
Sorry, Brits, for taking over your terms here.
Dallas says to check the rules forum.
About this card specifically, I assume.
So maybe
I'll start looking that up.
Yeah, maybe Thoris has given us, some steel determination on this. But next one, and I believe these next 2 are ones that we did get to see at Mini Stravaganza, which, by the way, absolutely worth going back and watching a whole bunch of the events for there. Not only were there some really cool painting streams, but just the discussions that they had. There was a round table that was a handful of, I think, what do you got?
So it wasn't Thoris, it was Nigoldar.
Oh, yeah!
Who's still awesome. So world domination will be errated to say are securing instead of control in the first sentence of the card.
Oh!
So if you are securing all secure objective tokens, an allied Hydra character may play this card.
Dallas, thank you. Okay. So
does that change it to the cleanup phase then?
I don't know. Read it again.
It'll say you if you secure all secure objective tokens.
Yeah.
So that's still during the turn, right?
Well, and so oddly enough, that was going to be my comment on this. It'd be a lot cleaner if it happened in the cleanup phase while you're securing stuff, and if that's what the errata is going to be, that's honestly perfect. I think that absolutely is spot on.
I should read the rest of what he said because he clarifies.
Oh.
Players secure objectives when they have more characters contesting an objective than their opponent, keeping in mind counting of healthy and injured. This applies to all objectives. So it's not only pay to flip, it's all blues.
Heck yeah.
So as long as you're securing them all, boom, 1, 2 extra points.
That's
even better.
Yeah. Well, and think about
Dallas.
that on a Crisis Eye like a Terrigen Mists, where there's only 2, and it moves around. So your ability to be able to pull this off and really sneaky, backhanded, haha, gotcha moments would be pretty cool.
Do you still take this card on a crisis where you can only score 1 victory point from it?
Yeah. It's an extra victory point. Also, it's world domination.
Yeah. I mean, I
like,
figured that I
yeah.
would absolutely too. I think it's still 100% worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, completely ignore everything that I said earlier as far as like, yeah, it absolutely belongs in your 10 roster. No, this is in your squad.
Well, now, yeah, now
Every
that
round.
it works on every single secure objective, yes, this is in your squad for Hydra. Absolutely.
And to clarify, not because it's overwhelmingly powerful, but because it's world domination and you're playing Hydra. Why would you not?
Right, because then you can go world domination, or however you want to
Exactly.
say it.
And-
say it like Arnim Zola, world domination.
And if you're playing Hydra, you should always be shooting for this. This should always be plan A through D.
World domination. Yeah, anything else is failure.
Correct.
I mean, if you play world domination as a Hydra player, you've already won the game. It's like if you use all your tactics cards, you've essentially won the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a double duty here.
And Dallas does say the time you don't take this will be the time you lose by 1.
Absolutely.
This is the anti-tiebreaker, right? In fact, if you don't take this card and you're playing Hydra, I believe you automatically lose.
You get slapped with a wet fish right in the face.
Yeah, it's actually
Like fresh out of the water.
Yeah, like a dry crackling tortilla with a bear paw on it. So
those tortillas were terrifying.
Listen, you're right. The next two are ones that we got to see at Mini Extravaganza. Once again, if you didn't see that, make sure to go back and check that out because it was a powerhouse of reveals and streams.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But Inevitable Betrayal is the first one. This is a Hydra reactive during the cleanup phase, and I love this. I loved this effect in the Infinity League. Adored it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it is gone from there and now is a tactics cards for Hydra is really cool.
Right. This has made it much more difficult to pull off than just once a game.
Correct.
Because that league wasn't about balance anyway.
Oh, it was so fun though. So Inevitable Betrayal. Hydra reactive. During the cleanup phase, before victory points are scored, an allied Hydra character may spend 8 power to play this card.
One character.
Choose an enemy character within range 2 that is contesting a secure objective token. The chosen character counts as one of your characters for contesting secure objective tokens this round.
Brutal. I like that it's 8 power. So you got to plan for it, save up for it.
And you got to be pretty much there.
And do nothing else afterwards for a little while.
I love the idea of having this card, hoping your opponent forgets that you have it. Making a big show. Right? Of being like, oh, I can't get quite there. I can't get within range 1 of it. Ah, nuts. I'm not going to be able to secure it. Let your opponent's guard down, right? And then all of a sudden, cleanup phase happens. And you go, wha-cha-cha-cha!
Another gotcha.
And you pull that out, and you're like, wah! And then they're like, wah! And everyone's just like, wah.
I really like how this could essentially save you an action on a character. Like, I'm going to attack instead of moving on to the point or whatever. You do have to be within 2. So I like how it has 2 limitations because it's super powerful, obviously. This could flip. Something like we just played is it the Meteors we just played? That if you have the most, you get 3 victory points. So this could swing at 6 points. Can be massive.
That's a push to flip, so this wouldn't work there. But
you're right. So this one's a little more limited, but it's still really good. You're still flipping at least a point.
Say, for instance, you have one of the most powerful characters in the game, which means, well, no, because he's not immune to poison. But say you have a character that is immune to poison, that's an opponent, right?
Okay.
And you don't want to get in that Terrigen Mistcloud because you don't want to get poisoned. So you say, hey, you, Crystal, hey, Cable, hey, Captain Marvel, could you get that for me, please? And then they do, and then you're not poisoned until the power phase in the following round where it gets moved and then poisons you anyway. But
I was gonna say that's not when the poison happens.
But still,
okay.
it's thematic. You get those. The thing that I absolutely love about all these tactics cards. Listen, I'm getting a little.
You are so excited.
I'm very excited. Is that every single one of them? When I use them, I just want to lean into a microphone and just say, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah, right.
Like. It's
next thing we know, you're gonna get a tattoo, and just during a stream, you're gonna pull it down, but
just be like Hail Hydra.
But little Hydra symbol.
2 more shall rise. 100% a time to say Hail Hydra.
Oh, absolutely.
World domination. Oh, you gosh damn!
Yes.
You're not whispering it.
No, you're shouting it.
Whispering.
Whispering.
You're not gonna whisper it. You're gonna yell it. Inevitable betrayal. Not only will you bang some dinosaurs together in the cockpit, but you will.
Son.
But you will absolutely say it there as well.
It took me half a second. What was it? Your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah.
I love squash.
Uh,
Oh, so good. I love this card.
Adore
It
it.
will be frustrating when it's used against you,
but
but it's difficult to
you
pull
should
off.
be able to see it coming from a mile away, and that's the thing about
But it's like, wait a minute. Why didn't you spend any power
why are you
this turn?
stacking power like that?
Why are you not on this? Oh.
That's why I love the pump fake, right? You got to make a big show of being like, oh, I just can't get there. I just don't have enough movement.
Your opponent's like, what? Yes, you do. You even have another action. You can move there. You're within.
Why aren't you getting another loaded token on Hydra Bob? Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
Oh my God. If you got 8 power on Bob and use
Do
this
this
instead of
instead
a
of-
loaded token. All right. Well, there's Tim's next goal after this stuff comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Great. All right. So we've only gone over 3 of these.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. What about Sleeper Agent?
Another absolute banger. Absolute banger.
This one's super cool. Similar to things that we've seen so far, like the Nanites for Sentinels and the Initiative for Shield. So unaffiliated, reactive. When you include this card in your squad, choose one non-Hydra affiliated character in your squad. It is now a Hydra affiliated character. If your squad is using the Hydra affiliation, when this chosen character is deployed, it gains the Subterfuge superpower. Each time this character attacks, after the attack is resolved, the target character was not dazed or KO'd by the attack. This character loses the Subterfuge superpower. After all characters are deployed, discard this team tactics card. And Subterfuge is an innate superpower. During this character's activation, enemy characters cannot use reactive superpowers, and players cannot play reactive team tactics cards. Oh, I love that they're hiding in the wings. They're there, kind of being obnoxious as a Hydra character to use other cards, and they're only there to finish off other characters. Like, you got 1 health left. Okay, now I'm gonna actually attack.
But not only that, like while they're not attacking, this is the part that number 1 is incredibly thematic and tells the story very well. That subterfuge is there until they attack. So just the whole premise of one of your characters being included in Hydra, walking along the battlefield, not attacking anybody, making sure that subterfuge stays up. Because once they do attack, it goes away. And that is an incredibly cool and unique ability. Mystique has it.
Yeah.
And we've seen some really cool interactions with it. But just the idea of Captain America walking around as a Hydra person, maybe bodyguarding, maybe using his power for other things, picking up some secure objectives. But subterfuge is live until they pull off the mask, until they reveal themselves for who they really are, and then it goes away. But up until that point, that subterfuge is there.
Well, it's so good because it still works if they attack somebody and they daze or KO because they don't know. They didn't see it happen because they're down. It's so perfect.
It's like Among Us the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
So I love the idea of like Captain America for this specifically as a Hydra affiliate character now. I'm assuming someday we'll get like Hydra Cap, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he's just like doop-a-doop-a-doo, just punch a guy, knock him out, and then just keeps going boop-a-doop-a-doo. No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I like it a lot.
All right. So once again, also, the cool thing, right, so far is that every one of these cards is something where you can say, "Hail Hydra," when you pull it off. Sleeper Agent, you don't even have to wait. You just do it from the start.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hail
Like, you
Hydra,
put it
they're
in the
Hydra
spot.
now.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess what? Everyone's favorite Bullseye's now Hydra too. All
I
right.
think the next one might be my favorite just because
By all means, go for
it's
it then.
super cool. So Victory Assured.
Hail Hydra.
Again, love the title, name of it. Unaffiliated, active. So I think the rest of these are all specifically Red Skull. In this case, it's Johann Schmidt, so it's either Red Skull, which is nice. During an allied Johann Schmidt's activation, he may suffer up to 5 damage to play this card.
Yeah.
Just takes damage. Not a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once this character may use the attack shown above once this activation. So he's got electrostatic discharge. So he's zapping you with like force lightning.
There's a cream for it.
Yeah, right. If you're okay afterwards. Beam 3, Strength 6. If this attack dazes or KOs the target character, this character gains the stunned special condition. So he stuns himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's just releasing so much. But when making this attack, add attack dice to each attack roll equal to the power or to the damage suffered to play this card. So even if you only put 1 damage on him, you're still going to strength 7 beam.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage. I just love the idea where, you know, victory is assured. So he's gonna hurt himself a whole bunch, making this up to a strength 11 beam.
Do you know why victory is assured with this card?
Because he's just gonna wipe everybody out.
No, because this puts a ton of damage on Red Skull, Master of Hydra, so he can be KO'd. So 2 more shall rise.
Right. So you run him up the table. You use victory assured when they're trying to take that middle point back that he's sitting on, because you need all 3 to get world domination. And then he's just like victory assured, because you don't need to save up for it. No. There's no power. He just takes damage, and you're like, oh, I just did 5 damage to myself. Strength 11 beam. I still have 2 left. I'm fine.
Yeah. I hope I'm not. I would really like to be KO'd so I can mix in Baron Strucker, super involved. But yeah, I think it's super cool, super thematic, and it tells that story, right, of like Red Skull being down and out and being like, all right, well, Captain America just keeps coming here and telling me that my language maybe is a little inappropriate, and I'm not going to be bullied by that bully.
Right? He should be offended, because Captain America should just learn German.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He won't have trouble with language then.
So, I think it's super rad.
I see it as just his extreme arrogance, where it's like he can hurt himself so much and still be on top,
but still calculated. I know just how much I'm going to hurt myself.
Exactly. Yep. Like, because you choose how much power to put on there. All right, I only need. Let's go for a strength 8 beam.
Yeah,
I think that'll be enough.
I think the way
and it's energy.
What you're doing with your hands too is like perfect for it. Well, I think a strength 8 beam will. Yeah.
He's calculating that in his head as he's going, and just I love this one. I think it really plays into Red Skull so well.
Yeah, it really does. And more importantly, it plays into 2 more shall rise. Next up on the list is another one we've gone over, and this will be the last one that we've gone over previously, but it's awesome.
It's wild. This is probably the craziest card they've come out with.
It's really cool. So it's occult research. It's a Hydra active. During the power phase, Red Skull, Master of Hydra, may spend 10 power to play this card. Red Skull, Master of Hydra. So not Johann Schmidt. This is just the King Daddy Red Skull.
Right.
And all characters within range 2 of him gain a stagger token. Red Skull, Master of Hydra, gains the following superpower for the rest of the game. This character may perform an additional action each activation.
It's crazy.
Between his attacks, between having some, some of the old grunter bunters, there's so much cool stuff he can do. He can make so many people kneel before him. Granted, probably not right away, because that's all 10 of his power. But
he's going to be hurting for that for a little bit.
Yeah, he will be. But listen, you'll get it back not super quickly, but potentially quickly with Blitz Strike, being able to get around the field and move people around. But you're always only ever gaining 1, so it's a little bit of a, you want to be taking damage, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well, he's gonna get 1 in the power phase. He'll get 1 if he's holding or securing an objective. So like he could get 3 back pretty easily.
He could also take some damage to gain some as well. 1 for 2.
Oh yeah. All consuming I totally forgot about that power.
But
so good.
So I think it's awesome. Everyone's going to be wanting to just do that in general, bring that occult research and just dominate the board. Some might say, dominate the world.
Oh, yeah.
But
you can do that, too. It's going to be difficult to play Hydra and take anything like standard cards instead of all Hydra cards, because they're so good.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing by any means.
Honestly an ideal situation.
Oh, you
right?
don't have Brace for Impact? Yeah, world domination.
Yeah,
Get over it.
Why would I? Maybe there's a betrayal that will be inevitable. The last one is Endless Legions. This one is a new one that I'm pretty certain. I think we just saw this one for the first time. But it is a Hydra reactive. During the power phase, Red Skull, Master of Hydra, may play this card. Each time an allied Hydra troopers would be KO'd this round. The whole round. Remove all damage from them. Oh. They are not KO'd. Then an opposing player pushes them short instead.
It doesn't even cost power. It just happens once round.
It's not just once. It's not just once and then they're still there. It's for the entire round. Each time they would be KO'd for the entire round. You could dump buckets of bullets into these Hydra troopers, and they're not going anywhere except being pushed away short. And they will go there.
Now, these are the Hydra troopers can't hold objectives, right? The other grunts can. These guys can only secure.
These ones can secure, yes.
Okay. So I was going to say they don't. It says they are not KO'd. They wouldn't drop an objective, but they can't hold them anyway, so never mind. But the opposing player then pushes them short, so you can get them off objectives if they've already gone this way. Like, you're not going to take them off the table this round. but you can still get them off a point.
Yeah.
I love this card so much. I
awesome.
miss that it's each time this round. So if they get days 3 times in the round, who cares? They're just going to get pushed a couple times. They're
Right.
still there.
Right.
He's got so many more of these guys in green and yellow. And they're like the toughest grunts. They have 3 health.
They have considerable health. Yep,
defenses.
3 stamina, 1/2/2 short movers, and those Hydra weapons, man. They're gonna be blasting just like Bullseye.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. They're attached to a 5-threat character instead of a 4-threat like we've seen with the other grunts.
Correct.
So I like that they're a little bit better.
Yep.
No, I love this one. It's super thematic. Again, there's just more, like, just the idea that they actually did go down.
Mm-hmm.
All those Hydra troopers are KO'd or dead or whatever.
There's
there's more of them. They're just over there. They just came on the field already.
Right? So that's such a good point. I didn't think about that. That the reason for the push is that there's more troops just backing them up. They're there. They're just a little bit further behind.
This took a while to catch up. They're a
Yeah.
slow move.
Mhm.
Because they're like goose stepping.
Yeah, they're behind there like what the soldiers in Wizard of Oz just just
The flying monkeys.
yes.
That scene freaked me out as a
Oh
kid.
yeah, why wouldn't it?
I did not like that, especially that where they're marching with that like chant. I remember one time we were watching that as kids, and my sister was like, "I can't stand the flying monkeys. I'm going to leave the room until it's over. Let me know when it's done." So I was 3 years younger than her, so I was probably like 6 or 8 at the time, something like that. So of course I was like, "Oh, okay, it's done. Come back in." And she saw the flying monkeys because they were still there.
Yeah.
Naturally, I had to go hide in the attic because she was going to murder me.
So I had a very similar situation with The Empire Strikes Back. I was terrified of Gremlins as a kid, the movies.
Fair.
And my cousins used to try to put on Gremlins whenever I was around to scare me.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Sounds like cousins.
So we went to my cousin's house, and Empire Strikes Back was on. I'd never seen it. Yoda comes on the screen. I thought he was one of the slimy gremlins at first. So I panicked. I was out of there. I was gone.
Scared of Yoda?
Oh, terrified. I was like, they have green ones now, and I was gone.
What do you mean they have green ones now? The scary gremlins are always green.
Well, they were like brownish. They were wet looking.
Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
don't like
saw
them.
that. I actually saw it for the first time just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, this movie's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be a comedy. I'm like, they legit killed those people.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Dan, it was a perfectly viable comedy to be scared of.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure what to expect because I heard so much about gremlins over the years. But yeah, it was. I could see being absolutely terrified of that as a kid. The creatures for the gremlins look so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
pretty sure that was Jim Henson.
That's Jim
Workshop,
Henson magic.
so-
Yep.
Oh my gosh, so great. Yeah, I'm fine with not watching that one again.
All right, let's before we go off on any more tangents, let's get into.
We've been really good about it so far.
We have been.
Let's be honest.
All right, here's the deal.
What?
So AMG put out a couple posts about being able to order the new Rivals pack, right?
Yeah.
We knew that there was going to be new versions of both Wolverine and Sabretooth in this.
When's this one coming out? Is this December?
I don't recall.
December 9th.
December 9th! Just in time for Christmas. Oh!
I think Blob and Pyro are also that day.
Whoa! I hadn't seen these bad boys up for pre-order yet. Okay.
Or they
Oh,
are.
s-
Okay.
Yes!
Nice.
Oh, I'm so excited for Blob. Dude, if we get like
I'm so pumped for Blob.
Blob and Pyro release stuff this week or next week or just literally anytime, I'm going to be incredibly happy.
I just want to see what Blob does. Pyro's cool and all, but come on, Blob. Like, as an overweight kid and kind of still, like,
Yeah.
I
You are
identify
still
with Blob
kind of
a lot.
kid. That's fair.
I identify with Blob a lot, so I'm super excited for that.
So here's the thing. In the description on Asmodee's shop, right, for the Rivals pack, it says very specifically, featuring beautifully sculpted new miniatures of Logan and Sabretooth, which,
Agreed.
first off, yes, very much so. This pack adds new versions of these iconic characters to players' rosters and introduces the new Weapon X Program Affiliation to Marvel Crisis Protocol. I had no idea we were getting a new affiliation with this box. Zero. I was already stoked for this box. There's a motorcycle. Wolverine comes with a motorcycle.
I love how they had another image of it showing just Wolverine Sabretooth motorcycle. Like, yes!
This is why you're getting it. But it certainly is a huge reason why I'm excited for it. But there's now a Weapon X Program Affiliation. Now, from around Marvel Crisis Protocol. We already have a pretty considerable number of characters that could be in this. X-23, Honey Badger, Wolverine, Sabretooth, Deadpool, potentially Mr. Sinister. Who else was the sleeper that people hadn't thought of and I was really excited that I remembered? It was...
People that are in the game already?
Yes. Maybe I'm forgetting. There's somebody else.
Who'd you already say?
All the Wolverines. And Deadpool.
Sort of, yeah.
Sinister. Yeah, maybe it won't be all the Wolverines. Maybe no Honey Badger. But
yeah, because X-23 and Honey Badger weren't part of the Weapon Plus program. They were a different thing.
Okay. Omega Red. Sorry, that was the other one.
I could see him in there.
Yeah. I mean, he has some pretty heavy ties to it as a whole. But here's the thing. One character that I've been talking about since we started this. One of my favorites. Phantom X.
Yes. That's my big thing. I want Phantom X.
Right?
So bad.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. And just some of the other Weapon X characters around, you know what I mean, that everyone loves. Ajax. Right? Everyone's
Maverick.
Maverick. Actually, Maverick.
I'd actually really like a Phantom X Maverick
pretty
box.
Awesome. What do you think about Captain America being included in this too?
Yes, absolutely. He's
Right?
Weapon 1.
One gets done.
I saw people on Facebook saying that, like,
Stiltman.
Weapon Plus.
Ravensguard says, if there's literally any string out of that sweater that I could pull to try to link Stiltman to Weapon X, I am here for it.
Well, he just puts his arms up and he's a big X.
Oh, that's true. We did it. Confirmed.
But yeah, Phantom X is way up there. I'd love to see Captain America. There's a whole bunch of other ones if you look through the different weapons. That's all part of the Weapon Plus program.
Yeah.
Right, with like the world and everything. There's some really
When-
cool. I didn't realize
when the
the
X-Men-
Stepford Cuckoos are part of this.
Yes.
They're Weapon 14. I didn't know that.
When the X-Men keep getting in your way and shutting down your Weapon X programs, what do? You put it on the internet. And that's that's what the world was, which I thought was super cool.
Oh my god.
What?
I told Weapon 2.
Is it Toad?
Brute Force. You ever heard of those guys?
No.
I saw a documentary about them recently.
Wait, what? On
a
TikTok?
while ago. Yeah. They were I think it was on TikTok. They were animals that were experimented on to create like a superhero
yeah.
team. And like their designs are super 80s, not great. But could you imagine a Brute Force box? It's like a shark with legs or something.
It's
a dolphin with legs.
And a kangaroo on a Segway? Oh my gosh.
They're like cyborg animals. It looks so dumb.
All right, so I've made a lot of...
I know, it was a show. I forget what streaming service on. It was with, oh shoot, I forgot his name from the League.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Colin Robinson of the League. What's his name? Paul Schur.
Oh, yeah.
He did a show
Scheer.
about
Yeah.
he's like doing stuff with comics, and he like met with the person who created Brute Force, and he looked at all the originals and whatnot, and it was actually really interesting. But like, could you imagine models of those things?
All right.
Please do yourselves a favor and Google Brute Force Marvel right now. They were Weapon 2 apparently.
I would highly suggest it. Let me see if I can get this up on screen because it's certainly going to be worth it.
Oh, Man Thing was Weapon 4.
Oh, was he? Yo, Man Thing would be legit. All right, here's the thing. Rev Right Mad also says the Wrecking Crew. That would be awesome. I would love to have the Wrecking Crew in this game.
Yes.
Out of these characters, right, that they have for Brute Force, there's the kangaroo on the Segway. There's the dolphin in an Iron Man suit. Here's the thing.
There's a bear.
There's a bear,
Lion.
but there's a lion.
Yeah.
What if the Bog Tiger was just to get practice in for the Brute Force reveal?
I mean, that lion is like the Bog Tiger plus a Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We
got
have
lion,
Sentinels.
Brute Force.
We have Malekith. The next logical step is Brute Force.
I love it. They're so ridiculous. And it's so AMG to pick something that weird and obscure, you know, like MODOK right in the beginning, Cassandra Nova, like these things that a lot of people aren't aware of, like, let's do Brute Force, because why not?
Imagine that, too. Imagine that, like, that promo, that right? They do that stream. They're going to talk about the Weapon X Program Affiliation. There's some claw strikes, like, and it
the lion's
reveals,
claw.
and it's
Just one big, put them on the biggest base, just all 5 of them together.
Yeah.
As just one big thing.
Ooh, a brute force like Nick Fury Sr. and the
Yeah,
Holland
yeah.
Commandos. That would be awesome.
I would actually really like that. So the whole thing with the brute force is they're created by this government program, so they like break out of it and become like eco-terrorists, where they're like fighting to save the planet. It's so great.
That's very good, actually.
So I want those so bad now. They're like number 2 on my wish list now. Iceman, brute force.
Whoa. Can we make at least Phantom X like 1.5?
No,
Is that
just
cool?
like on my personal wish list.
Oh, okay. No, still. I need everyone's personal wish list to include Phantom X, please.
All right, Iceman, Phantom X, I do legitimately really like him.
Yeah.
Brute force.
All right. Listen, I'll take it. A win's a win. You got to take them where you can get them. But legitimately though, as far as some like real serious wild speculation, what do we think a Weapon X affiliation ability might be?
It's got to be something offensive.
We've gotten some really good, incredible affiliation abilities recently. Like a lot of the last reveals, the Hydra ones were spot on, just perfect. The Sentinel one, super thematic.
I like how they're getting away from just like, you do this simple
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Like they're getting more complex without being overly complex.
Mhm.
I don't know how to say it exactly. So I
Yeah.
feel my gut instinct is like, I don't know, everybody gets bleed on their attacks or something, but that's too straightforward, too simple.
Yeah.
Weapon X has always been about manipulating people into doing what Weapon X wants.
Ooh.
There's a lot of talk about like, could Weapon X kind of go the route of convocation and one of the characters isn't the leader
I like
kind of
that.
thing? So like, how would that be represented on the table where they're always brainwashed, right?
Yeah.
Like Wolverine didn't have his memories until House of M because he was brainwashed so much.
Ooh.
So maybe
Actually-
like that's the leadership ability is a card that's like brainwashed. Give it to a Weapon X character. They're your leader. I'm out of ideas at this point.
So,
Brainwash with me here.
Random aside, right? In probably what is heavily considered to be one of the best X-Men films, X-Men Origins Wolverine,
Get out of my house.
Blob was a part of Weapon X. So we might see Blob in this affiliation too.
I mean, if we can take one good thing out of that movie, it was Blob. I actually liked Kevin Durant as
I
Blob.
love Kevin Durant just in general. I
Yes.
think he's really
I think he's
good.
underrated.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very
We've
much
seen
so.
him in more stuff, but yeah, him as the Blob. I would love to see Blob in here. Why not?
Ooh, Half Days Ninja, or Half Phase Ninja, I'm sorry, man. Spend 2 power. Everyone gets charged that can be used once a turn.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome.
Right?
That's so thematic. Again, it's offensive.
Uh-huh.
It makes a lot of sense. I like the idea with that brainwash card, and then they're just like, go! And they're like, oh, okay! And, like, activate something in their brain, and they go, and they do it.
I dig that. I was thinking maybe something based off of Bleed as an affiliation as a whole. Maybe getting short movements if someone within range 3 has Bleed
Like
or
smell the
advances.
blood,
Yeah.
Something like that.
That kind of pile-on thing. I think would be super cool. And granted, once again, we've seen this already kind of done in a couple ways with Shadowlands Daredevil, but maybe you can re-roll 2 dice on your attacks against targets that are bleeding. Or
Okay.
fast healing. Be able to apply fast healing once a round to one character.
Okay.
You know?
I like that.
I do really like the almost like a Corvus Glaive, something like that, where you take someone down and you can spread out some power or have some abilities there. Pierces on random things. Axle Bullet says adamantium bonding. All characters can spend 1 power and reduce. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, they all get a nerd to pain? I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
I think that would be pretty stellar, like really huge, but like once per round or whatever, one character can spend for the inert to pain or something like that.
I like that as a leadership ability. I want Weapon X to be offensive instead of defensive, but I like that a lot.
But I think they are pretty defensive. I mean, they're all Black Ops and stuff too, so you could see more of a whatever you call it.
Was Cyber part of associated with Weapon Plus or Weapon X at all?
I feel like he was,
The
because I
dude
know
that
he had,
broke Wolverine's claws.
yeah, he had all sorts of stuff against Wolverine.
I always really liked him.
Maybe the affiliation ability. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. This unequivocally will probably be never thought of as the Weapon X affiliation ability.
Okay.
1 character per game gets to count as one of Phantom X's other nervous systems.
Oh my God, yes.
You know what I mean? You can just turn anyone into cluster. Just
Eva.
call it a day. Team Stealth also seems pretty thematic too. I completely agree there.
Yes.
Ninja. But listen, I'm stoked. I'm really excited for these reveals. I'm really excited to see Blob and Pyro's cards. I'm really excited to see the organized play kit that is going to be coming with the Hydra tank. I'm super
God, I
excited
can't
to see
wait.
how this motorcycle works and things. I've wanted a motorcycle so long for Wolverine to be able to throw around. Listen, even if there's just the tiniest detail on there somewhere that's just like a pair of Scott's extra glasses. You know what I mean? Just something to signify it as a stolen motorcycle from Cyclops. That's all I want. That's really all I want. Also, I'm gonna make this decree right now.
A decree.
A decree, not a decree, but a request. A very light request. Don't actually do this, but we have a PO box.
It's a weird request.
P.O. Box G, West Oneonta, New York, 13861. This is a real P.O. box. You can send things to it, and my dad will pick it up. So if you make it addressed to something really weird, just know that he's going to read it and then ask me what it means. And sometimes I explain it to him, and sometimes I just can't. But send me your motorcycles from this kit. I want so many. I want all of them. I want the motorcycles. I want to have a board that's just Wolverine's motorcycles. It would make me so happy.
God.
It would make me just so happy. Just think about that. Just motorcycles everywhere.
Just a base of motorcycles.
It's like that's what was it? Rob and Dylan Dyer playing in the Atlantic City Open, where Magneto only had trash cans to throw and took down like a She-Hulk or something with just trash cans.
Kept throwing trash cans.
Oh my gosh, I just want so many motorcycles.
We'll get the job done eventually.
AMG, if you could just do me a huge salad and just make a terrain box that's like 15 motorcycles, that would actually be like super cool.
Yeah, I think I'll have to take the motorcycle from that kit and just put it on its own little base to use as like a size 1 piece of terrain.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just fall over, you know.
Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Or we'll use
Motorcycle mayhem.
what a great crisis that was.
That was super fun.
Yeah, that Kingpin zooming around at long movement. And
Oh my God, that was
crashing into people,
amazing. And then he
it was-
crashed. It was so good.
But guys, there's so much cool stuff coming to this game. I'm super excited for this holiday season. Next month we have Sentinels coming out. We have Red Skull, Master of Hydra. In December, it looks like we're gonna have Blob and Pyro, as well as the rival set. I'm so excited for that rival set.
Yeah. January we're getting the Hydra tank.
Yeah.
And I think is that all we know of for right now? I don't think we have anything beyond that.
That seems to be the
I
case.
think our wallets get a little break in November,
Yeah.
which is fine with me because I need time to paint those Sentinels.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay if Blob and Pyro came out earlier, but
I am really heavily considering picking up multiple boxes of Sentinels.
Really?
Yeah. I think just because there's 2 in the box, doing them in a couple different color schemes, or some with extra battle damage and some with none, I think would be really fun. And because of the size of the model, and just kind of its scope as a whole, I think they'd be a really cool one to paint, like with one of my kids, or to do like a paint night for, or see some really cool like other interpretations of and color schemes for them.
Right.
Yeah, Otis, the P.O. Box number is actually just the letter G.
It really is. It sounds fake, but it's not.
When I set it up, I also didn't believe it. I was like, is this supposed to be a 6? Did you just not connect this? And they're like, no, it's G. And I was like, are you, once again, I want to be super clear that it is G as in giraffe. And they said, yes, it is. And I said, okay, all right.
Also, half-ass Ninja, 100% agree, hoping for an Angel Iceman box along with Pyro and Blob.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely could still happen.
Mm-hmm.
We could get a Phantom X Iceman box.
That's true.
We could get Iceman and Ice Constructs but just on his own box.
Ooh. I
There's a
don't...
little snowman that punch people, too.
Yeah, I dig it. Avalanche 2 would still be pretty sweet.
I actually
Round out the Brotherhood.
I could totally see, because all the other Brotherhood boxes were kind of mixed. Mystique, Sabretooth came with an X-Man, so I could see like legitimately Avalanche and Iceman together.
Yeah.
To finish Brotherhood, or maybe Avalanche and Destiny. Because she's like, they're the last ones. Really, Destiny's a big part of Freedom Force and a huge part of Mystique's story. She'd be I feel like that she's a difficult one to fit in the game. She could be like the first one threat. Yeah. Because she's just a regular person that can see the future kind of sometimes.
Ravensguard says, what if no Iceman, but other cooler ice-powered people?
What? Like Ravensguard? You are here all the time.
What about like Blizzard?
No, that would just be a slap in the face. If it was other ice people, not Iceman. This make me real sad.
What about?
Still get them.
Whoa! I got it. You ready for this?
Sad. Now.
I really hope you're ready for this. Mimic, with Iceman's powers, will be in the game before.
I do really like Mimic.
Me too.
Can it be Exile's Mimic and not like original Mimic with the weird giant glasses?
I liked that Mimic.
I mean, he's not bad, but the original Mimic did just take the powers of all the original X-Men. So yeah, he definitely would have Iceman powers.
So just saying.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't want it before Iceman proper, but 13861 is the PO box. Otis.
Oh yeah, sorry, Otis. But yeah, I think that would be cool. Exile's Mimic, or not Mimic, Morph.
Can we just get an Exile's affiliation with Blink, Mimic, Morph, Thunderbird?
And a third Sabretooth.
Yeah, but Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth.
Yes! Yep.
Because it was that Morph, that Blink, that Sabretooth were all from the Age of Apocalypse are in there. Because he was part of the Weapon X team that were doing the missions the Exiles didn't want to do. Because it was like, you got to go kill this person. The Exiles were like, I don't want to do that. So they're like, all right, we'll send Weapon X instead. Yeah. Third Sabretooth confirmed. Thunderbird, that other Starfire. Yeah. It was different Magneto for like two issues. I really liked the initial run of Exiles. Like the first 60-something issues were so good. Judd Winnick. I don't know anything else he wrote except for that, and I really, really liked it.
That was always one of those ones I dipped in and out of, right? But it was always so rad because it was always not always a random cast of characters, but I loved it when Deadpool was on there for a while, like with She-Hulk. They were just hanging out, just out forth walling each other.
Yeah, they were part of the Weapon X team for a bit. Yeah. There was an awesome story arc called Masada that was just the Weapon X.
What's Masada with you?
Yeah, right. The Exiles weren't in it at all. It was the Weapon X team on a mission where they had to destroy the Inhumans. They had to help like that world's Avengers kill the Inhumans. Oh wow! And like I can never remember. I don't know how to say the place. Attilan, the Inhumans' home. Yeah. Was like. Is it Attilan? Something like that, yeah.
I might be throwing extra eyes in there.
In that one, it was like this floating island around the world kind of thing, and like in the atmosphere. They weren't on the moon and they weren't under the ocean. They were just on this floating island. So the Weapon X team led that world's Avengers on this like huge siege of the floating city.
Sorry, I just had a really good idea. It literally shook my spine. I'll wait for you to finish.
And there's this awesome scene with Black Bolt kind of talking with Medusa. Hit the way he talks with her, trying to figure out what to do, and he like explains to her in his way that he read this story of this place called Masada. So they like,
what's a Masada with you?
Knock it off. Ben says, Attilan. Okay.
So Black Betty. Attilan.
They try to. Black Bolt kind of sequesters himself. Yeah. Because he's like, we're done. They're gonna kill us all. They totally outnumber and outpower us. We're done for. Some of the Weapon X team goes on a siege with them. Others like Sabretooth, and there are a couple of them that were like, we're not okay with this either. Yeah. Like, this is too much for us. We're not going to go commit genocide and wipe out these people. Right. Seems so. The whole army goes. All these Avengers. They're led by Dr. Doom, is like in charge of them. And there's this great scene where Invisible Woman was the queen, not Medusa. Okay. And she was like cozying up to Dr. Doom, and she like stabs him in the neck with an invisible knife. And like at the same time, all the Inhumans that are defending the place fall, and all the Avengers get in. They're in the city, and Black Bolt's just standing there, and he just goes, and he screams as loud as he can. He just yells Masada and just wipes out everybody, destroys the whole city, himself, the whole Avengers army. And Sabretooth's like, that's why I didn't go.
Should have brought Dazzler.
It was amazing. It was one of my favorite storylines of anything. And the art in it is just so good.
Speaking of Invisible Woman, speaking of Doctor Doom, speaking of one of my favorite storylines ever.
Anything with the Thing, right?
This is going to have the Thing in it.
What?
I would love the Fantastic Four to be introduced to MCP as a terrain box from Battle World.
Okay.
Where the Thing is the exterior wall to the kingdom, and the Human Torch is their artificial sun. That's what I need. I need the Fantastic Four terrain pack with protector moat wall thing, and
so disrespectful.
Great story though. It's incredible. I don't know if you've read the Battle World, the Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh, Molecule
the
Man,
Thor core.
Yeah,
so
the Thor core.
So Miles Morales saves the universe with a cheeseburger. It's so great.
It is.
Like, it sounds ridiculous, but in the moment, it was actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty fantastic.
All right. So before I make more heinous suggestions, let's finish her up. We're getting a call from Uruguay right now on the network number. Yeah, that's probably Lemmy. I'm not gonna pick it up. But guys, thank you so much. Make sure to check out all of the other streams that are all about Marvel Crisis Protocol right here on the Twitch. Monday night we do the Power Phase. Probably me and you this next week.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about our game.
We haven't.
Really.
Oh yeah,
so much to talk about this week.
There really was. Dan and I had a really fun game this past week on the Power Phase. I tried to pull off Hydra High Council and I just couldn't do it. Bully Cap's a bully, man. He just takes people off the board.
He had one really good round.
Yeah.
Getting that trigger to flurry is so good.
But I am so happy. If you haven't checked that out, it's on the YouTube right now. Link is right down below, or you can check it out on the Twitch still for the next week or so. That was from this past Monday. I am just so over the moon that Hydra plays exactly how I thought they would, exactly how I wanted them to, and just so thematically. It was awesome. We played Shield versus Hydra. It was a really fun game. Check that out.
They fit you to a T.
They really did.
Because your name's Tim.
It is, which starts with a T. Just wanted to make sure everyone got it.
Yeah, we had to explain it.
But guys, thank you so much. Monday night, the Power Phase. Tuesday is Taylor's Hobby Hangout. That's moved from Wednesdays to Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. Monday nights is 7 p.m. Eastern for the Power Phase. And then obviously right here for Wait That I Roll a Wild every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Podcast version, if you're listening to that, would really, really, really appreciate some 5-star reviews on Audible, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really whatever is most convenient for you. It really helps us out a lot. The Patreon as well, patreon.com/professionalcasual. Really helps us do a lot of the things that we do, helps us afford equipment and people to be able to spend time editing and doing a lot of the stuff here at the Professional Casual Network, as well as go and cover a lot of events coming up, similar to like Everwinter, which we will be going to the weekend of December 10th. That is in downtown Boston. That will be a very large Marvel Crisis Protocol event, and probably potentially the biggest in the Northeast so far. So very excited to be covering that. And it is an LVO qualifier as well. So that should be a blast. They have a massive prize wall that is going to have a lot of the stuff that is coming out over the next few months for Marvel Crisis Protocol. Maybe even some Blob and Pyro. It comes out the day before it starts.
Oh, nice.
How awesome would that be? So yeah, make sure to check that out. You can find that at wickeddicey.com, professionalcasual.com. You can, as well as where you can find all of our podcasts, links to all of the stuff. It's a great time. Cleanup phase coming up.
In a hot minute.
Just got to shut down and start it back up. But give us 5 and we will be live with the cleanup phase, which is our Patreon only Marvel Crisis Protocol and more show. So get ready.
So if you haven't yet, head over to patreon.com/professionalcasual. Join there for as little as $1 a month, and that'll give you access to that show. We'll be live in just a couple minutes. If you're already on the Patreon, just hang out for a minute.
It'll be there. Love you. Bye.
Bye.